anyways, story aside, you get into the game and then you can actually play the game after many minutes and hours probably of you having to press.
It was a long time.
Yeah, you were almost quit.
I was trying to quit. I just didn't want to lose the progress. So I was looking for a save point. I was trying to quit. I was like, good gracious. Like, when do I get to play a game instead of read? And I even made the comment to you of like, this is what turns me off about certain books. Because I do like to read. I do like entering fictional stories. But the thing that turns me off about certain stories and certain books is like when it's all set up for chapters and chapters and chapters and they don't get to this story.
Right. It's all set up. It's all world building.
I don't mind the world building while I get to play.
Yeah.
But I'm not really into like just reading a novel in the beginning.
So just like, and that's also something you see a lot with Japanese RPGs. There's a lot of setup, a lot of world building. And really a lot of tutorials. So what makes reading, which is kind of what you compared it to, reading a book that has a lot of setup and that's not getting to the meat and potatoes of it all. But in the game, you also have the tutorial. So you have to learn how to play the game because every game is completely different, right? How to navigate the options in the menus and the yada yada. And they also have to market this game and assume that whoever's playing it has never played a game in their life. You know, they have these tasks set up to you to run around town, but really those tasks are just set up for you to be able to use the left stick and the right stick and figure out where the menus are. So it's this really slow buildup of a process. And honestly, you're still in the tutorial. You're still learning things about how to control this game. And we're over 3.5 hours into the game now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's still like a tutorial, honestly, at this
point. Which I think is the exhausting part. Yeah. If there could be like some tutorial and then let me play and then get to a different section and then put a little bit of tutorial and add like a difficulty level to it, I would be okay with that. It's just that it kind of feels like they're throwing everything at me all at once. And so that I can play the rest of the game.
Right, and that's what makes a good game versus, you know, maybe a poorly paced game. And I'm not saying this game is poorly paced. I think it's doing a pretty decent job. I mean, it opened up, I'd say about after an hour or so.
An hour is a long time. When you sit down and want to play a game, an hour feels like a lot.
This game is going to be 40 plus hours long. Just hope you realize that.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't sound like a lot. I feel like I mean that to sound a lot. It doesn't. It's just in the very beginning of what it's supposed to be, to start playing, that feels like a lot.
Yeah.
For me, being someone with very little time, being a mom, being a wife, like, I just don't have the time to sit down for an hour to learn how to like read the video game manual.
You have the time, you just rather not spend your time that way.
I would rather not, because
you can play an hour spending an hour of Animal Crossing,
sure,
accomplishing something.
Yeah, I can do something.
And that's the difference. You feel like you're accomplishing something.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting more out of that. Whereas, like, when I'm just reading instructions, I feel like, I could be doing the dishes or the laundry.
So let's say when the game opened up and you actually got to battle and you're learning the battle mechanics and everything.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy it at that point?
I did. Because to me, the thing I'm the most well-versed at in all of this video game, like, playing in a different kind of reality world is the Wizards Unite on the phone.
I can game with you, play when we want to. I can game with you, the game